Hello there, and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1998 Ford Mondeo Ghia X 2.5i 24 valve. Yes, the Ford Mondeo, the car they picked with the absolute longest name when it came to the Mondeos to include the Ghia X 2.5 24 valve. It's not an ST200, which I think would have actually existed by the time this game came out, but it's the Ghia X. But I don't care because it comes in the fantastic BTCC race mod, which is one of the absolute best race mods in the game. It looks exquisite. It is bang on as well, including the Auto Trader sponsorship and everything. Some of these BTCC cars, for the most part, they look great. Stuff like the Accords and the Primeras. And then you get ones like the Laguna that sort of lose a lot. But this one, hasn't lost anything. It does look absolutely phenomenal. And a car, of course, famous for Nigel Mansell piloting it for one point. And then other than that, the Mondeo didn't really do a lot in BTCC. It was always there. It was always quick. Eventually ProDrive took on running these, but yeah, it just never really got anywhere near like a championship or anything like that. But still a very cool car, and this, I guess you could say, second-gen Mondeo, especially this sort of hatchback design. You do not see a lot of these anymore, and anytime I do, I get excited. Like all of these 90s saloon cars, all of them are gone. Lagunas, Accords, all of it. But the Mondeo is perhaps the most surprising because this is the one they sold the most of, and these cars just weren't preserved at all. But fantastic looking things, the New Edge Mondeo, very cool car. I like it a lot. And I'm hoping it does pretty well. A lot of these 90s saloons have been doing relatively well. They're a bit patchy on how well they actually do around this course, but here's hoping the Mondeo is quick. Front engine, front wheel drive, 337 horsepower, 1,194 kilos. It is on the heavier side because it is the mighty Ghia X. Anyways, this car is going to have 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Currently it is the Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition 99. That's at the time of 27.017, just right past the Vauxhall logo there. Interesting. Yeah, this car unlikely to beat that. In terms of this car's competitors, as I mentioned, they're a bit all over the place. Accord, I think we got the original running of the Accord, the 97 Accord, did not do very well at all. That set like a 31.1, but then later we ran the JTCC version that got like a 30.4. Vauxhall Vectra, again, another 30.4 car. I think the Renault Laguna sits around a 30.693, so hopefully the Mondeo can get up there. It hasn't quite got the raw power that the Vectra and the Laguna has, which is going to hurt it. I think the other thing that's going to hurt this as well, I don't know what gearbox is in this. I'm not sure. By the way it's shifting, it doesn't feel particularly automatic. I mean, it's a 5-speed. Maybe did the Mondeo have a 5-speed auto? That seems like that might be a bit too sophisticated for the everyman car of the time. But yeah, either way, I don't think this is going to be quite on the peak of those cars, but I'm hoping it still does pretty well. We should be able to get this under a 31 second, hopefully. Yeah, the Mondeo. This car was known as the what was it called in America? I love it how the Contour, that was it. I love it how my brain, when I was like, oh, in America it was known as, I instantly went to the Mercury Mystique, which I think was the Mercury model. I don't think Lincoln ever did a version of it, but yes, no, it was the Contour, which interestingly enough was not 30.800 dead. That's not bad. Yeah, interestingly enough, that's not one of the regionalizations they made when converting this game into the North American market, even though the Contour was a car. I guess because the Contour had a bit of a different rear end, although by this time it had an identical front end to this Mondeo. In terms of the way it drives, I'm not super happy with it. It's a little bit wayward on the rear end. You can sort of see it flicking me out of that first corner there on that previous lap. It's not all that planted, which something like the Laguna was. I think the Vectra was a bit more like this, but the Vectra was also significantly more powerful and quicker. Yeah, it's not an amazing handling vehicle. It does feel heavy. Like, there's no getting around the fact this thing is a bit of a plod. With its Ghia X trim and its mighty electric heated leather seats that I'm sure it had. Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment from this car. I mean, in terms of the lap time, it's not too bad. It does beat quite a few vehicles in this sort of range, if you will. But it's not amazing, I wouldn't say. Definitely one of the weaker of the BTCC inspired cars we've had. Although, to be fair, with the way it looks, do I really care? No, I wish it was a little bit quicker, but it still looks fantastic. So it doesn't really matter in the end. And I'll be honest, I don't think there's a lot more lap time to come out of that either. Maybe a little fraction, but not a lot. 30.800 will place it into 188th place, beaten out fractionally by the car that inspired this, the Nissan Primera. It is quicker than the NSX Type S, Citroen Saxo, Dodge Copperhead, Citroen Zara Exclusive. Quicker than an Alfa Romeo 166 Twin Spark, which isn't bad going. Quicker than an Opel Astra. Quicker than 2-litre Vectra. Other such cars like it I'm just trying to find. But yeah, it's slower than the Primera. It is about 0.3 down on the Vectra. 0.1 down on the Laguna. Yeah, it's just not got the raw power of something like a Laguna and a Vectra. It hasn't got the controllability of the Primera. Bit of a shame, but still, it's a cool car, isn't it? There's no denying it. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.